What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite trio of the bunch, Mr. Fun Guy, aka Jeremy, with his two compadres.
Yep, here we are. Tuesday night, Zeo night,
Why, yes. Yes, it is. The best time of night is Zeonight.
Same Zeal time, same Zeal place.
Usually at a slightly different Zeo time, but always the same Zeo place.
But we're in
Yeah.
like 3 different Zeal time zones.
Yeah, that part's
Yeah,
true.
sometimes it gets a little Zeo complicated.
Oh
Zeo
God,
complicated for
all the
sure.
Zeo. Oh my God. So we're this episode, guys. We have no topic at hand. We're just gonna spit random BS and talk about some random things, and hopefully catch a few eyes.
hmm And those of you that don't know, okay, if this is your first time tuning in, I am PhenomenalMiklo, aka David. I'm joined by my cohorts, my brothers, and the Power Grid.
I'm Jeremy, but my friends know me as Mr. Fun Guy 696.
And this is Jerry, and not really a cool nickname, even though my online handle is J3D, and I'm starting to get pretty attached to it.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome,
Yes,
sir.
You did spur that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are the Zeonizer Podcast. You can find us everywhere at this point in time. So, those of you that don't know, now you do. But let's kick off today's episode. What are we going to talk about today, you guys?
I've got something.
Oh, no.
I've got something. We can kick it off with something Power Ranger related.
Shoot.
They released. It was either late yesterday or early today. They released a new promo image for Once and Always. And in the background of the image, it's got like the logo Power Rangers Once and Always, and then it's got 4 Rangers. You got Billy, Zach, Rocky, and Kat. Billy
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Billy is in the front. So he is apparently going to be the leader of this team. But what's really interesting about the picture is in the background, behind the Rangers, there's a robotic facade, and that is Robo Rita in the back.
Exactly.
And a lot of people thought that it was Mondo from the Machine Empire, but you can tell that it's
Nope.
Rito.
It's just out of place. Why would they think it's Mondo? Mondo is Zeo. Mondo was never in the Mighty Morphin universe. He was in another universe far, far away. So
Exactly.
I have no idea why they thought it was Mondo. I mean, I knew it was Robo Rita from the start, and just all these theories coming about that it's Mondo, or another theory that JDF's in it, Austin St. John's in it. Those are all inaccurate, not true. For anyone who's not been paying attention, Austin St. John or his character Jason Lee Scott won't be in Once and Always because he's facing legal battles with fraud from some sort of company he worked with during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He can't leave. He can't leave the country. And Once and Always was shot in New Zealand. JDF, however, he at the time was focusing on Legend of the White Dragon, and his agent said he's not doing it. He's gone. He's done with Power Rangers, so he's not in it. So let that be known.
And then RIP to the GOAT, Jason David Frank.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, that is pretty interesting how people are thinking that it's Mondo being, reintroduced. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but I believe it's Robo Rita that's being introduced into Once and Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost basically 100% confirmed.
Okay. So you have Robo Rita, and then now you're basically going to have Rito, who, in my opinion, was the goofiest, but the coolest debut villain for Mighty Morphin.
I loved Rito's look as a kid. I loved that he was a buff skeleton in an army helmet.
Yeah, that was funny. And the fact that he was camo too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He was camo. So I kind of like the fact that they're bringing back the brother sister villain kind of dynamic into Once and Always, because that was pretty cool. When Rito did debut, and yeah, he destroyed the Megazord and stuff, which led into the ninja arc, right, for season 3.
Yeah.
Where they got the powers from Ninjor and all that stuff. But Rito, definitely cool addition. Truth be told, I don't want them to bring back another Goldar repeat. That's just
God, no.
me. When they first dropped the idea, what was it? Beast Morphers, I believe it was, where they did like a whole Robo Goldar.
Yeah.
And I
I just
think
don't know.
I think the angle on that was that it was supposed to be Goldar's offspring, but I'm not sure.
That's a fucked up looking offspring. That's like the offspring fell out of the tree into an ant bed. I mean, that's just horrible looking. It's like the whole them. It's them like bringing back the whole Lord Zed thing, right?
Yeah.
In the previous season. Now they're talking about, get this. Now they're talking about bringing Lord Zed as the villain for Cosmic Fury. Which if they do that, I'm not watching it, because there's, to me, and I may be a Power Ranger purist whenever I say this, I don't care. But there was one Lord Zed. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Sir Oxenrod. But that's the only Lord Zed that can fill that role. I don't care if you can get somebody that looks just like him, sounds just like him. He's not Sir Oxenrod.
Yeah.
And another thing, it's just I'm done. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So with the whole Goldar thing, right? So it was theorized as it was gonna be Goldar's son or his offspring, right? However, when it came time to actually do the episode, it turned out to be Goldar himself reincarnated as the quote unquote like virus thing that they have going on right now. I wanted to say the Vengex virus, but that didn't make sense. But that's essentially what it was. It's like they mixed the two. Like they mixed a computer virus with the essence of Goldar, and out came Robo Goldar. That's why when you had the cameo episode with Austin St. John, Goldar automatically recognized, the Red Ranger, the original Red Ranger.
Right.
So it was theorized that Robo Goldar was supposed to be, Goldar's offspring, but it actually turned out that, it was Goldar reincarnated essentially. Which in my opinion, if you're gonna do Goldar, do Goldar. Don't make it robot. I don't care if the entire season is futuristic tech and everything like that. I don't give a shit.
If there's anyone that thinks that Goldar that they used, like that souped up Goldar, if anyone thought that looked anywhere near as good as the original Goldar, they were really off base.
I'm gonna fight you if that's the case.
But really, to me, yeah, me and you both. But here's the thing: why are they so obsessed with bringing back the old Mighty Morphin villains like Lord Zed and Robo Goldar? Why are they so obsessed? There were so many good villains beyond Mighty Morphin, like Decker. Like seriously, full kick ass. Not even gonna lie. So many other villains. Ecliptor for one. Just
Ecliptor
so many.
It would be tight if they brought Ecliptor back for something.
It would. But they're so obsessed with bringing back these old Mighty Morphin. Like, why are you gonna bring Lord Zed back? Lord Zed, for those of you who don't remember, at the end of space, after Andros shattered the cryogenic tube, his essence, which if you're an adult, don't get me wrong, does not sound right whenever I say essence. His essence went all over the universe and purified everything that was evil. Okay. Yes, destroyed Rito and destroyed Goldar, yes. But Rita and Zed still had humanoid forms. How is Zed going to come back from being evil after he was purified? That to me has never made no sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to me. One of my least favorite things Power Rangers ever did was when they introduced Lord Zed and Rita's son.
Oh, Thorax, I think his name
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
That god awful looking character.
That was Operation Overdrive too.
Look,
That was horrible.
if you're gonna have the spawn of Lord Zed and Rita, okay, I would have imagined that it would have been more. It would have looked more like Rito, because Zed is a fucking skeleton with muscle.
Yeah,
Bro, okay. Oh,
he's an
no. Okay.
exoskeleton and his flesh is on the inside.
I'm on barf, bro. Don't say that. That's Rito and Rito's Alabama love child. I'm on barf. If you say that shit.
No.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, like, if Thorax was, you know, done the correct way, it would have looked a little bit more like Rito did. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit more skeleton-y rather than half the freaking face of Zed with the damn bridged mouth, and then the other half with the freaking horn from Rita. Like, that makes zero fucking sense. We know those horns weren't legit. That was her fucking crown. And then Zed's face was Zed's face. Okay, fine. But you mean to tell me you, as creators of Power Rangers, because at this time Operation Overdrive was under Disney, of all the things Disney could have created, you half-assed and just mixed this and created this? Like, no disrespect to Disney, okay? I'm not trying to get us, canceled or anything, but this is just coming from true Power Ranger fans, who have lived and breathed Power Rangers since the very first episode we've ever watched. So,
yeah,
I want to know their mindset behind it. Like, you could have put a little bit more thought into it. You could have. I understand if they weren't going for like a scary version because of the fact that it's Disney. They're still trying to make it a little bit human, and okay, fine. But this is Lord Zed and Rita we're talking about. They weren't designed and they weren't made to be kid friendly.
No, I mean, if you think about this,
Like,
we were.
Lord Zed was scary.
You know what
I mean,
he wasn't that scary.
I mean, fuck off. I thought he was pretty fucking scary when I was.
Bro, I thought the fucking bug from was it space or was it I forgot the bug like villain. I think it was space. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you're talking about Lost Galaxy, bro.
Yeah, Lost Galaxy. Yeah, that one was scary.
Yeah.
I didn't like bugs as a kid, but
yeah, I didn't much care for that guy either myself.
But just still, Lord Zed, you have to. Okay, yes, Lord Zed was scary in some children's eyes, and parents were fucking pissed off and all this other bullshit. But you also got to understand this: Lord Zed does not have a counterpart in Sentai, so they literally created him to be American adaptation only. You gotta give credit and props. That was a damn good villain.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, one of at least the top 5 villains that I would put. If I had a Mount Rushmore of villains, it would be Lord Zed, Mesogog, let's see, who was another one that kicked ass on a constant basis? Oh,
I thought that Void Knight was a really good villain until he turned to a good guy.
Actually, no. Let's roll with this. Let's pick our 4 Mount Rushmore villains of Power Rangers. Let's start with that. So, you had who was your Mount Rushmore, David?
Lord Zed, Mesogog. I was gonna go with the Master from Mystic Force.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was gonna go with what's his face from SPD.
Oh.
Crumb.
Orc something.
Crumb.
Grum, yeah.
Grum.
Yeah, Emperor Grum. That's my That's my Mount Rushmore, as in like top villains. I'm not talking henchmen. Top villains.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the top guys here.
Yeah.
All right, David, or not David, or Jerry, your go. What's your Mount Rushmore?
Honorary, I think Lord Zed's going to end up on all of our Mount Rushmores.
True.
Unless one of us decides to be a nonconformist or something.
Fuck you.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So, Lord Zed, and then I'm gonna have to go Master Vile.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would take. Then I would take. Okay, so this has. I don't know if it can. I guess I would just have to pick one face, but I did like the villain faction in Lost Galaxy. Um, but instead of carving that scorpion guy's face, they could carve his daughter's face on there because she took over towards the end.
You got astronomer?
No, Trakina.
You,
Oh,
yeah,
Kitty. Okay.
Drakina. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think for my fourth, I would definitely have to put Rita in there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know that a lot of people say that she didn't hit her stride until Zed came in. But I am a firm believer that some of her earlier plans were pretty well thought out. It just so happened that I blame Finster for a lot of that. I really do.
Okay. I need to know why.
I think some of his monsters were a little faulty at first.
Okay. Okay. So I agree with you about Finster. Okay. As a henchman, he really dropped the ball in creating the monsters because I understand they were going based off of the Sentai and all that stuff. Okay. But if you're going to create monsters, like your whole object is to be able to give the Rangers a hard time for the majority of the episode, and then the Rangers group up, discover new powers, right? Overcome all that, and then beat the monster, right? Classic good versus evil arc. However, the 3 episodes that did not include Finster are the most powerful episodes ever to have been released. And I'm talking about Green with Evil. Within those 3 episodes of Tommy Oliver being transitioned to the Green Ranger and then kicking ass for Rita, right? To me, that had nothing to do with Finster. That was all Rita, and she would have succeeded if
It hadn't been for those meddling kids.
basically, if Austin or if Jason didn't destroy the evil sword. Because if he hadn't destroyed that sword, Tommy would have still continued to be evil, and then would have eventually destroyed the Rangers.
All right, so Jeremy, what is your Mount Rushmore of Power Rangers big bads?
Okay. Of course, number one is Lord Zed. I
Okay.
can't shake that no matter what. Number
Nope.
two, I don't care. I know we said no henchmen, but to me, he beat the living hell out of these Rangers almost every episode. I gotta go with Korak the Nightwolf.
I'll take that.
Standalone could be the most the baddest villain. I mean, at one point, I thought he was the main villain in Mystic Force. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And
no,
then,
I think I did too, because they almost for like a couple good episodes they didn't show like the main bad guys at all because it was focused on him.
I got that, and I can't stop, and I got to acknowledge the movies. Ivan Ooze, my number three.
Ooh,
Number
movie
four,
mention. I like that.
my and four, Master Orc.
Oof. Okay.
Master Orc
That's
is a
my
good one.
Mount Rushmore.
So you said Lord Zed, obviously.
Mhm.
Korag.
Yep,
Ivan Ooze, Master Orc.
yep, yep. My four.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain to me why Korag.
Okay. Yes, we understand Korag was basically if okay. Anyone who's listening, if you never watched Mystic Force, I'm sorry. I'm about to be spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Kick me in the nuts later. I don't care.
Yep.
Nick, the Red Mystic Fury Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, he's the son of Udana and Lianbo. Lianbo being the Night Wolf Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even though he became good, even though he kicked ass majority of those episodes, we never saw anything with the master. We saw the people that was, being his puppets. But Korag always done the most damage to the Rangers than any secondary monster could ever do. So he brought it to them on the ground. He brought them to him in Zords, Magic, you name it, he did it. Every single time the Power Rangers faced Korag, he was always a losing battle because he was so much stronger and so much more experienced because he was actually Lianbo, the ancient warrior from the Mr. Force. So that's why he's put on my list. Even though he's a good guy now, if he went back to the Force of Darkness, he'd be badass. He'd kick all ass. So that is the reason why I put him down because he started off as a bad guy.
You mean started off as a good guy, turned bad, and then turned good again?
Yes, more or less. But
Okay.
he has to be put on my Mount Rushmore because more people recognize him as a villain than they do as a hero.
True. True.
And of
Okay.
course, Ivan Ooze. I mean, I'm sorry, Ivan Ooze. I thought, to be honest, whenever I watched Ivan Ooze, I thought he was going to take the place of Lord Zed and Rita. To be honest, whenever the movie was over with, I thought I was going to see Ivan Ooze as the villain. I thought that made sense, but apparently not.
They had
So
a
they
lot
got
of
our
rules. They had a lot of rules they had to follow when they made that movie, as
yeah.
far as like what they could touch about what the show was going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say Diva Talks, but I didn't want to get yelled at for saying Diva Talks. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to say that.
To be honest,
The
I
whole
think.
experience, the Power Rangers movie, watching the movie and then seeing on the show how they transferred the powers in a completely different way. Like as a
Yeah.
kid, like isn't that like that was probably like the first experience like of there being like a multiverse, you know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
the continuity of the movie and the continuity of the show were slightly similar, but not the exact same.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, we got to talk about our villain, Mount Rushmore. And I'm thinking, a good villain makes a good Power Ranger season, no doubt. I mean, it depends on how intense the villain is. That
Mm-hmm.
will measure how intense the Rangers are.
True.
So we have our top four Mount Rushmore. So what about our Rangers? How are we going to do this?
Hmm.
Uh,
How about we
I
continue with the
figured
villains first? So, what's your
True.
Mount
Let's do that.
Rushmore of the worst villains?
the,
Like
the
the
Oh
worst.
God.
Okay,
the
so
worst of
obviously
the worst. Like
we can include henchmen in this category, obviously.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh gosh, there's so many of them.
So, Jeremy, since you went last, now you get to go first.
Fuck me.
I mean,
Fine. I'll go first. Okay. Mine. Oh God. Okay. I have to go with I can't think of their name. I'm just gonna start one. Diva Talks number one
Okay.
because she was too slapstick. She was never serious. She was always making jokes and slapping her hips around like they're Molar and Curly, right? So she's got to be number one. There's no serious there whatsoever. Number two, David, you're not gonna like me for this one, but I gotta go with Mesogog. I never liked Mesogog as a villain. I
Okay.
just thought he was overhyped and overwritten.
Okay.
Number three, I gotta go with Astronomina, because even though that was Andro's sister and she was brainwashed and made think that she was like the princess of darkness or whatever, and she was kidnapped as a baby, turned on her brother. I mean, I didn't like. As a kid, I didn't like it. Period, because I was having internal issues with my sisters. So that's on my board as the worst villain because I felt like it could have been better. It could have been, viewed a lot easier, a lot better than what it did. So that's my number three. And my number four, oh, there's a lot of worse villains. I have to go with the two villains are trio. Well, not trio, they're a double, but I'm going to put them in under one. Um, they're Operation Overdrive. The two brothers that never fucking got along, got from ice and the fire volcano. Forgot their names.
Oh, okay.
Those two dudes. Feel free to, if anyone who's listening, feel free to correct me or scream at me. It's this guy. Those two dudes are my one. That's the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Jerry, what about you? Mount Rushmore of the worst absolute dog shit villain.
Number one is Finster for me.
Okay.
I already briefly touched on that.
Sure.
The next one, I don't know the character's name, but the Conehead guy that hung out with Diva Talks.
Olgar,
exactly.
Yeah.
He sucks. Fuck him.
Dude.
The Prince of the Machine Empire.
Sprocket or the other one?
Sprocket.
Okay.
Yeah, little tight little fucker.
And then this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm gonna say Rancic from Time Force.
I'm not mad at you. I didn't like Rancic, period.
Okay. I respect that. Yeah, Rancic wasn't that great. So, my number one is the henchman from Dino Thunder. What's his freaking name? Zeltrax.
Zeltrax, okay. I think I remember him.
I've just felt like he was a I'm drawing a blank on this dude's name. From In Space.
Oh, I can't think of his name either.
But you know what I'm talking about.
No,
Ecliptor. Yeah, there you go.
The one, Ecliptor?
Yeah. I just felt like he was an Ecliptor wannabe. So I got Zeltrax. Second one is, and this is a hot take for me, but Daishi.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Because
I Jungle Fury, okay?
I love Jungle Fury. I just can't stand Daishi as a villain. Okay, especially when they did Jared. So technically, Jared as Daishi made zero fucking sense to me. Okay.
Gotcha.
Can't fuck with that. Morgana from SPD.
Okay. That checks out. Yep.
Yeah.
That checks out. All right.
And then is it Master Vile from Samurai?
No.
Who is it?
Is it? Maybe. No, Master Vile is Mighty Morphin.
Mighty Morphin. Okay, so whoever the main villain is in Samurai.
A villain so bad, none of us can remember his name.
There you go. And the reason for that is because you mean to tell me you have a medicine dude, Octoroo, right? Who has to basically get you drunk to get rid of your headaches. Because Xandrin, there you go. And the Rangers give you headaches. Hello, Rita 2.0. And gets you drunk.
So now
he has to get you drunk in order for you to summon a monster to get rid of your headache. But then the Rangers defeat him, increasing your headache, so therefore you have to get drunk even more.
Holy shit, I didn't think about that till now.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't stand Master Xandrin.
Okay.
I hate to think about the home life of whoever wrote that story fiber.
Sure hell wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it made zero sense as a villain. Like, I understood Daishi. He's a spirit, evil spirit that got locked away because of Jared, and the hatred in his heart got released. Okay, cool. Emperor Grum, okay, fought with Doggy Kruger, came to the new universe, right? Wanted to take over the universe, and okay, cool. Typical evil story, right? Hell, even the Armada from Megaforce made a shitload more sense than Master Xandrin.
True.
Like, everybody's whole thing was to take over the world. Master Xandrin's, on the other hand, was yes to take over the world, but he wanted to get rid of his headache first. Okay. And then that's when Decker came into play.
I'm sorry, but I had to interject this about the headache thing.
Okay.
Do you guys remember those commercials where the person would be like, I have a headache this big? You know?
Oh.
No. I don't know, but I know that's what she said.
That's what I think about when you're describing this monster creation technique to me.
Yep.
Sure. Oh, God. If only Finster had those kind of headaches, if you get my drift.
Yeah. And then their whole thing of, the Sanzu River, right, has to raise so much before, the evil ship can, get to the surface world and get to reality and, invade and all this. Like, you mean to tell me that you need a lake to be able to fill up to come to the real world? I felt like they already did that with Mystic Force. When Liambo kept the Master at bay in that little Lake Forest pond, and then Udana went and tried to get Liambo back. I just felt like Samurai was just a complete ripoff of previous seasons.
But I'm going to tell you this, okay? If Saban was not lazy, and he actually put forth effort, and nothing against Saban. Saban brought us probably the greatest thing in our lives to ever happen as children. And this is the reason why the three of us are very good friends, if not close brothers.
Yep.
But if he put in more effort, it was able to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring all the Super Sentais over. I'm going to do this and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if all the Sentais got adapted to Power Rangers, shit would make sense. I mean, if some of them who are listening to us when we say Super Sentai, you don't know who Super Sentai is, we urge you to watch it, change your life. Right now we got a new series, a Super Sentai series going on, and so far I'm loving it. But there's a lot of Sentai series still waiting in that adaptation lobby, as we call it, that will never get a chance to be adapted. Like, okay, for instance, let's take Cosmic Fury, the new one coming up this fall, so around September, October. It is David will agree with me. It's a Dino Fury Season 2 Super. That's all this is. That's all this is.
I agree.
It's a Season 3, actually.
I don't like that they're using the Zords from my favorite
Q Ranger.
Yeah, That is my favorite Sentai. Now I know they're
Thank
never
you.
going to adapt that because they're using the Zords for this crap.
It's the same shit. It's the same. They're using the same constellation kind of rip off Rangers, but they're keeping the Dino Fury helmets with god awful fucking body. I don't know where the fuck this shit came from.
And I
And
mean, honestly, in my head, if you're going to adapt anything about True Ranger, you at least need to give me the little wolf dude as the Blue Ranger.
thank you,
Like,
thank
you can't
you.
even give us a little wolf guy? Like, come on now.
It's I know if it seems like we're hating, trust me, we're not. We got some severe constructive criticism going on here because this Sentai we referred to as Q Ranger, and trust me whenever I say this because it's a damn good Sentai series that deserves an adaptation. Yeah, sure, there's 12 Power Rangers, 12 Sentai Rangers because they represent the 12 constellations. Believe me when I tell you this, it was worth it. The story was fantastic. The villains were on point. And just shame we're not going to see this in Cosmic Fury. We're just going to see Dino Fury season 3. That's what all this is.
Yeah, and for anyone listening that has not watched Q Ranger, I can tell you it has some of the best character development story arcs of like any Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uh, especially the Orange Scorpion Rangers story arc is very good.
Oh, dude,
Yes,
one of my
that was the
favorite,
best one.
my
That was the
favorite,
best
hands
one.
down, at that one. So it makes, out of all the things they could have recreated, I'm glad they went with Q Ranger because it makes the most sense, especially since you had Dino Charge that had the 10 Rangers, right? I felt that if they
Yes.
were going to do a Dino Charge season 2, they could have adapted Q Ranger because, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe Q Ranger came before Dino Charge in the Sentai. Either came
You're
before
right.
or after, one of those two. I think it was before. So they could have adapted that, but they chose to hold off on it, which was fine. Okay. Um, but and I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it again till I'm blue in the face. If you are going to do an adaptation of a Japanese series like that got a lot of love from both those that watched it overseas as well as right here in America, okay, you need to follow it to the core. Now, if you don't want to, do the full uniform, right, do the full outfit, cool. Make your own adaptation to it, mix it up a little bit, but at least use the helmets. You don't have to use
At
the
least make an
weapons.
effort.
Exactly. If you're going to use the Zords, because there is a theory stating that they're going to be using the Q Ranger Zords, then you need to do the helmets. It's that basic and simple. Like, if you,
Makes me think they're going to use the globe morphers. Makes me think they're going to use that because if you see in
yep,
Q Ranger, the globes are on the megas, or so it makes me think they're going to use that as the morphing base, which
mm-hmm,
awesome, but it's still Dino Fury. It's
mm-hmm,
not Q Ranger whatsoever. It's just Dino Fury with Q Ranger friends. That's basically what this is.
exactly. And so then it makes me think, like, okay, if you're gonna do something Cosmic Fury, all right, so that involves you being in space, that involves you with like the stars, because that's what being cosmic is, right? Is being higher than life and all that, being in the heavens and all that. It would make sense for you to do Q Ranger, right? Because Zato, the previous Red Ranger for the Dino Fury team, is now a morphine master. Okay?
Yep.
The
And he's from space.
Exactly. As well as the Gold Ranger from Dino Fury, right? They're both from the same
Exactly.
planet. Now you have the Pink Ranger from Dino Fury, who is now the Red Ranger, which I love, by the way. Right?
Yep.
This is the first time we ever see in actual reality a female being Red Ranger. I do not count
Now, whenever he
Samurai.
says that, ladies and gentlemen,
You don't count
whenever he
Samurai?
says that,
Okay.
okay, for everyone listening, when David says first female Red Ranger. We mean full series. We're not talking about Laura from
Mm-hmm.
Samurai. We're not talking about any other. We're not even talking about the leader, White Ranger from Aquatar. She didn't count because she's not the leader. But this is the full series Red Ranger as a female.
Yep.
Okay, it counts as the first ever. That's what he's trying to mention.
And as a Red Ranger, okay?
As a Red Ranger,
Delphine,
yes.
the alien ranger from from Aquatar, Delphine from the American version of Alien Rangers, she is technically the leader of the Ranger team, but she is not Red. Okay, in the Super Sentai version, however, Red is the leader of the the that Ranger team. Okay, not White. When they do the American adaptation, Delphine, the White Ranger, is the leader of the Alien Rangers. Okay, as well as Jeremy just stated. Laura from Samurai, when she comes in at the halfway mark of Super Samurai season 2, I believe, she takes over for I think four episodes and then takes off. Right? She is momentarily she is a Red Ranger. Momentarily she is the leader of the team, but she is not a full series leader. Okay?
Yep.
So that null and void. This is the first time that we've seen a full series Red Ranger, and which I love because I've been rooting for since day one.
Thank you. Breaking barriers, I'm telling you. It's like I told people on Instagram. Yeah, by the way, Zeonizer Podcast, we are on Instagram, by the way, for all the news and hot takes for next episodes. We're also on Instagram. But there's a few people on Instagram I was talking to. They say, well, they don't like this. They don't like the fact that there's a female Red Ranger. Would you get your head out? Would you get your head out from the past? Any woman can do things that a man can do and do it just as fine. I mean, my wife works alongside me and works her ass harder than I do. So we may.
Women.
Go ahead.
If anything, I find that women are more competent.
Thank you. Yes. And here's the thing. I told people, I said, we may see a male pink ranger. We could. And the thing is, that happens, that'd be kind of awesome. Not to trail off here, but I kind of remember I was planning a role play with Jerry once, and we were talking about having a pink Cycle Ranger with Remy. You remember, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually planning on having a pink Cycle Ranger as a male. And a lot of people think, oh, that's gay. Oh, that's no one likes that. No one asks for your opinion. And times are changing. Yes,
Say that one more time, Jeremy, for the people in the back. Because I don't think they heard you. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Which part? I said a lot of things. Which part?
That no one asked for your opinion, and times are changing.
No one asked for your opinion because times are changing.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Go back to your 60s or your 70s where women didn't matter. This is 2023. Women matter more than anything. They've done so much for us. They give birth to our children. They go unnoticed every single day. So having a lead Red Ranger, I can't wait to see this because we've seen a lot of women play Pink Ranger and Yellow Ranger roles. And many times, David and Jerry will attest to this, many times those Pink and Yellow Ranger roles, damn near leader approval. So I can't wait for this, even though we have our collective negative thoughts about Cosmic Fury, we're still going in this with an open mind. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's not Q Ranger related, but there's a female Red Ranger. I can't wait to see how this happens. If this skyrockets, I can't wait to see more female leaders.
Also, too, if you think about it, a lot of the main villains have been females, but never the main hero.
Exactly. So this is like it's not. I wouldn't say revolutionary, but it's a change in the right direction. And I know Hasbro has plans to not adapt any more Sentai adaptation to America and have to go create their own thing. I'm skeptical on that because to me, it's like you're stealing product that's not yours.
I'm waiting for one of these days. One of these days, it's gonna happen. They're gonna announce Hasbro working with Boom Studios on new Power Rangers show.
Bro, if that happens, I will squeal like a fangirl and strip my clothes off and set myself on fire and run down the street butt naked. If that happens.
Because if you think about it, why would they do anything else at this point? Boom Studios. Boom Studios Power Rangers is the most popular Power Rangers there is right now. It's more popular than it is on TV.
Yes. But here's the thing. There's so much story. There's so many arcs there with, TMNT and, there's, just so many stories that could be told. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a Hasbro / Boom co-production of an animated series.
Yeah, animated series might actually work best because then they could actually work out doing some of that more crossover-y type stuff, Like,
oh yeah,
maybe we could actually have the Power Rangers Ninja Turtles crossover we wanted when they told us about it in space. Then we saw it and we were like, meh.
Yeah, exactly. What's your thoughts on it, David?
I mean, I agree with you guys.
I'm kind of glad you do, but I mean, where do you see the future of Hasbro and Boom Studios for Power Rangers? Where do you see it going?
If they're going down the same road that they're doing now, if they're gonna stop using Super Sentai, then I feel like the most obvious arc they need to do is the Lord Draken arc. Because not only will it pay a tribute to JDF, but because of the Lord Draken arc, you get a lot of multiversal visits, right? You get to a universe of where Trini is the Red Ranger and the leader of the Mighty Morphin team, and then Jason is the Yellow Ranger. Because
Here's
of
the
it.
funny thing. I just thought about this. If that happens, and Hasbro officially partners with Boom Studios, and we do get a Power Rangers animated series, those people who said Boom is not canon can shut the fuck up because Boom will officially become canon if that truly happens.
And I will laugh myself all the way to the bank with that, because man, there's so many. We could actually get a Forever Blue arc. We can get a Forever Black arc. Yep. We can get a Forever Pink arc, a Forever Yellow arc. Because Boom Studios has, and I have the collection pieces of them, but Boom Studio Comics has a comic book that's Forever Red, Forever Green, Forever White, Forever Black, Blue, Yellow, Pink. I have all of them.
Not to mention all the possible team ups like Power Rangers and Capcom, Boom Capcom, or Boom or NetherRealm Studios, or you never know. I mean, possibilities are endless, and if that should happen, it'll be a golden era. I would believe a new era in the Power Rangers universe, and older fans like myself may not like it, but it's not for me to like. It's for the future generation to enjoy delving into Power Rangers.
Exactly. And believe it or not, those people that want to argue it, but the TMNT versus Power Rangers, that's Boom Studios. Boom Studios came up with that concept. Boom Studios is what got in touch with Hasbro to start making the Legacy collection. And what ended up happening? Boom, we got the TMNT Ranger forms
And
as
the new
toys.
TMNT and the new comic, I think it just released. If I'm not mistaken, I may not. I may be wrong, but I think it has released the new TMNT Power Rangers 2 comic, where the Rangers are mutated into the Ranger forms as dinosaur forms. So they're
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs, but they're in their suits.
Yep.
That was a game changer.
Yeah. So that released. I'm actually going to be picking that up within the next couple of days. Once I'm off work, going to my local comic book store. Gonna go pick that up. I recommend
Same
our
here.
viewers to go pick that up and take a look at it because it changes everything.
Indeed, it does. And even though, here's the thing, for those the haters out there that say, "Oh, it's not canon because the turtles never appeared," and I say, I'm gonna stop you there. If y'all have never watched Power Rangers in Space because you're too busy watching Power Rangers Samurai and Mega Force, I urge you to go watch Power Rangers Space because the turtles did appear on an episode.
Yep.
So that where it is canon because the turtles have appeared in the Power Rangers universe. I don't know how many times I've argued with people about this, and they will say, "Oh, comics are in their own universe." Oh, really? Really? Comics in their own universe? Motherfucker! Explain DC and explain Marvel MCU movies. Don't worry, I'll wait. Explain that. And then half the time they don't like. Oh, well, that is a cow. So, well, where do you think they came from? Comic book. Exactly. But whenever you bring up actual documentation, not documentation, but research that this is true, they want to say, "Oh, it still doesn't matter to me." You're right. It doesn't matter to you. It matters to the facts, man.
Absolutely.
See, um, no. So there's a lots of going on. Like we were talking about once and always when we started up. Once and always is next month, around the corner. Um, we're going to, since we all have Netflix. Me, David, and Jerry uses David's Netflix. Uh, we're going to be. We're going to try to do a stream. We're going to try to do a reaction where you guys can actually get our reaction to Once and Always. And we're actually looking forward to it. We really are.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to. I'm excited to see it. And to be honest, even if it's not necessarily good, we're all going to have a good time watching it. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to see a lot transpire. I mean, and yes, I looked, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but when Catherine, Billy, and Rocky it looked like they were in some sort of laboratory. If you look on the shelf, you can actually see Lightning exclusive figures of the Rangers. Did y'all know that?
I'm kind of
Yeah,
irritated because I didn't know that.
I thought
You're,
that they were.
wow.
I assumed that they were just like statues or like memoriams or something.
No, 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 God, no. It's many people have said they're the Megaforce keys, but that's not accurate because the Megaforce keys are smaller. These are actual action figure length toys. They are the Lightning collection toys. Like if you go back and you see the photos, you see the three of them standing in like an old cobwebby, dusty, looks like there's a laboratory. On the shelves in the background, you can see if you zoom in, you can see the figures. I kid you not.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Hey, yeah, look that up. And you're gonna hate me for mentioning it to you now instead of before. But we're doing Once and Always April. I don't have any idea when Legend of White Dragon is going to be released. Aaron from Bat in the Sun hasn't released anything, and the fans are kind of getting antsy, and you know I'm just leaving the man alone, let him do his editing master skills. I can wait. I don't care. There's a lot of things coming up, like Once and Always, and supposedly the unnamed Power Ranger movie in the works, which I hope is not terrible like 2017. But only one can hope.
Where was it again? Because I'm looking that up as we speak.
Okay, it's Catherine, Rocky, and Billy.
Okay.
Rocky's on the left side, Catherine's on the right, Billy's in the middle. They're in this old, dusty, cobwebby laboratory. Okay, and if you look on the shelf behind them, if you zoom in good enough, you can see the Lightning Collection figures behind them.
Is it the trailer?
Yeah. There's like script. There's not scripts. There's pictures. Like before they released the video, they had pictures, and I think it was one of the pictures, the first pictures I saw.
Wait, I think I just found it.
Yeah, enjoy. So we'll wait for David's reaction, and he's probably going to scream and cuss me out through message.
Probably. I hate you
God, I
so
hate that
fucking much right now.
Love you too, boo boo. You did not know that, really? Honestly.
Bro, I didn't notice that. Like, I was just watching the damn trailer. I didn't realize that it was behind them the entire time. I'm not looking for subtle Easter eggs and shit. Like,
yes. Well, David Yost did say there's a plethora of Easter eggs in this one. I think he said it in this series, in this show.
yeah, it's a
Once and
50.
always, there's
It's
like
a 50-minute.
plethora of Easter eggs.
It's a 57-minute episode.
Hey, man.
Which
That is
how
movie
they
quality
can
to me.
cram 57 minutes of Power Rangers into that? Like, I would have preferred it to be an actual movie, like close to 2 hours, but
Yeah,
I
right.
digress.
I know, but still, whenever I saw that, I was like, I zoomed in on it. That's not Mega Force Keys. That's actually Lightning Collection figures. I was kind of hating on myself for a minute, but now that you know, you can tell people. You can tell people what you learned.
Okay.
Silver lining.
But yeah, the silver lining, more basically, yeah. But I mean,
Hey, guys,
I think
listen.
we mean that HBO Max is doing a reboot of the Flintstones.
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
I don't either. I mean, okay, they're saying that they're doing the same thing to Velma that they did with um, not Daphne. What's her damn name? Velma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bothered by that. Changing her race. I'm not bothered by that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that you're cashing in on nostalgia because you can't write new material. You can't come up with new shows. That you have to reboot something that's got the nostalgia tag to it. That's the instant moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just stupid and it's a waste of fucking money.
Oh, I 100% agree. So, I watched the Velma movie, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not that, you know, shout out to the person who actually created and directed it. I've seen her, on The Office, funny chick, she's, phenomenal woman and, all around great person. But if you're going to create something as iconic as Velma and Scooby Doo and Shaggy and all of them, then you have to be able to make it somewhat of the same concept. With Velma, it wasn't like that. They took the same characters, yes, gave them different backstories, gave them different races, you know, gave Shaggy a whole different name.
Oh yeah.
And the storyline for that was just completely, I don't want to say bad, but it was confusing. Okay? So then, when I voiced my opinions on that movie, I was called a bigot because I didn't understand what, Velma was trying to do, like the entire movie was trying to do. Like, first off, let me tell you something. I support anybody who's open to creativity. I'm open to however you want to, revamp certain things. But if you're going to be revamping
Right.
classics like that, then you need to follow a certain code, a certain creator code. Because Scooby Doo is a very classic cartoon. I mean, we've
Yes.
had many different versions of Scooby Doo, right? We've had Scooby Doo Where Are You? We've had Scrappy and Scooby Doo. We've had the Scooby Doo movies, the live actions. We've had, you know, uh, Scooby Doo, the Hocus Pocus one, the Zombie Island,
Scooby Supernatural, Scooby Doo WrestleMania. I mean, we've seen
every,
so many variations, so many crossovers. I think probably the most crossover cartoon to ever exist.
yep. And
Um,
for that, you're taking all these different versions of Scooby Doo and everything, and with all these crossovers, they've kept the same formula, and those
yep.
crossovers worked. But with this version of Scooby Doo, or Velma as they call it, right? It just threw everything out of the window. It just created more confusion. And for those of you that don't agree, by all means, however you felt about Velma, hey, that's you, power to you. I'm just telling you my opinion as somebody who's followed the classics throughout the years. And I felt that Scooby Doo already had enough revamps and reboots and, all these kinds of things. I mean, the person who played Shaggy himself said that Scooby Doo has more than enough reboots to get it through the years. You know? Like, this dude who played Shaggy for what, 2 movies? 3 movies?
I think you're thinking of Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Leonard has stated at multiple Comic Cons that he's went to that Scooby Doo has had enough reboots for years to come. Like that, and that's coming from somebody who's played a role in Scooby Doo. Okay? It's basically like saying, okay, yeah, you already have Batman and Batman Beyond. Now we're gonna have you do this other Batman movie, and I'm talking about the George Clooney one, and
Nipple
make
Batman.
it, yeah, and just make it, okay, yeah, it's Batman. Here's the formula for Batman, but just write what you want to write. Like, it makes zero sense at that point because it's no longer Batman. It's a damn site, damn circus.
Yeah.
There's already more than enough Batman series. There's Batman Beyond. There's Ninja Batman. There's Batman and
There's
Jack the Ripper. There's
yeah.
Son of Batman. There's
We can't forget Black Letter Batman.
Black Leather Batman. Oh my god. Then you have the Batman the live action movie. So you have Dark Knight. You have
And you
Batman.
got the Batman Red Baron.
Yep. Red Baron. You have, and the list goes on. You have over close to 20 movies. Batman alone. That is on the same level
Not
as Scooby Doo.
not 100 variations of Batman. I mean,
Yep.
if you played Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight, if you played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City,
Yep.
and all the kind of skins you could get are not just skins that the creators have created, but it's the skins that of Batman who've been existed in the comics,
Yep.
the Detective Comics to be exact. So there's so many variations. I just find it to be that I get you're trying to be creative, and you're trying to have people be representative of a particular kind of race.
Mm-hmm.
Respect it, I do, but at least stick to the material.
Exactly. That's how I feel. So then now with this whole Flintstone thing, I mean, you already have the Flintstones. You have the cartoon
Yeah.
version. You have quite a couple of the cartoon movies. And then now you also have the live action, so you have the actual legit original Flintstone movie. And then you have Flintstone 2, Viva Rock Vegas, which, in my opinion, worst Flintstone movie, but we'll get into that at a different time. Like, the Flintstone is a classic movie that you just don't touch. Like, it's one of those classics where if you leave it as a cartoon, you'll be okay. So I'm nervous as to what they're gonna make the Flintstones into. Like, are they no longer gonna be in Bedrock? Are they gonna be in a place called New York? Are they not gonna have? Is it not gonna be in prehistoric times? Is it gonna be in modern times? Like, are they?
They better not be like in Serial Man, to where they wake up, they're frozen, they wake up 2,000 years later. I mean, if that's the case, no, I'm so going to tune out if I see that shit.
Like, are they, instead of driving, that foot pedal car that they have, are they gonna be driving a Tesla? Like, certain things
That's
you
kind of
cannot.
creepy.
Yeah, there's certain things you cannot change about a classic, and try to make your own version of it just because you can. Like, there's a reason why there's not a lot of Flash movies. There's a
Yo,
reason
yeah, God.
why there's not a lot of Green Arrow movies. There's a reason why there's not a lot of certain movies or certain TV shows and certain reboots of certain things. Like,
Yep.
don't get me wrong, I love the Flash. I love the Arrow, the Green Arrow original series, Origin series. I love it all. But there's a reason why there's only one TV show. Okay? That's it. There's only one TV show. Just like Smallville back in the day, there was only Smallville doing Superman. There wasn't, all these other things that were going on.
I mean, I've been called a bigot too because I didn't see what they wanted me to see. But at the end of the day, we're all still human. We all have different opinions. And no, we don't have to respect them, but we can learn to still get along and not share the same opinions. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I have different opinions from David and Jerry. I mean, yeah, we argue about from time to time, but we don't, call each other bigots or anything horrible like that, because at the end of the day, David has his set of opinions, I do, Jerry does, and so on and so forth. And it's what makes us human. But at the end of the day, you mean to tell me you can't come up and create new scripts and a new show that we've never heard of, that you need to dig into the nostalgia well and dig out something as beloved as the Flintstones, something that is still shown on Boomerang still to this day, and you want to reboot it? You want to make something new, and you want something fresh. Here's the thing: many people are going to say, "Oh, I like this new show."
Mm-hmm.
In reality, it's not a new show. It is an old ass show from the 80s. So people are going to say more or less that this show is the best thing that ever been created when it's been created already. You know, you're basically just stepping over nostalgia and acting like it doesn't exist just to get just a for a free cash grab.
Yeah.
And it's like whenever they did the what was another reboot that they made that failed immediately after the show did? Uh, lots of them, actually. Um, the new Scooby Doo was horrible, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Never cared for it. It's just I hate the fact that people want to cash in on something that was so great and so awesome in the 90s and the early 80s that they think they can make that same amount of money, but it's not there. But I'm going to say this, that few things that are happening soon is, I forgot to mention, David, I forgot to mention, guess what I did today?
Oh, dear God. What did you do today?
Your boy has a Diablo 4 pre-order.
Nice. I'm getting mine tomorrow.
So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about whenever I say this, Diablo 4 is coming out in June.
Yep.
You pre-order now from March 17th through I think the 19th, 19th.
19th.
You get to play early before anybody else. The beta, more or less, for the pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's, because I'm going for the deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
I went for the deluxe. That's what I pre-ordered. I'll be able to play, I think, twice, maybe 3 times. I think twice. I'll be able to play twice before it releases in June 6th. And me and David, and I don't know if J3D will join us. I hope he will. But me and David are looking forward to this, and we're going to be streaming a long time, basically. I've been looking forward to this since Diablo 3. I'm not going to mention Immortal. I had a bad rap with Immortal.
We don't talk about Immortal. Immortal is the bastard stepchild, redheaded stepchild of the bunch. We don't talk about that. Okay.
I'm so glad I'm not a stepchild or redheaded. I would hate myself.
Yeah. And you know what's...
If you're redheaded, I don't mean anything by you. I really don't.
We're just talking about this game. And you know what's crazy? I was looking at the Ultimate Edition for Diablo 4, and it includes a weapon skin or a skin for Immortal.
Yeah.
Like, why am I gonna spend $100 for a skin I will never use?
Right.
You know, like
what skin is it? What skin is it for? Is it like
it's a universal skin?
Barbarian. Oh, it's a universal skin.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I don't understand the whole skin thing, the cosmetic thing. If it's not going to make me look cool and badass while I kill minions, I don't want it. I really don't.
Exactly.
But we will be streaming Diablo 4. So currently, while we await the arrival of Lilith, who that is the main antagonist, of course, Diablo's daughter, go figure. While we await, me and David have been basically doing streams of Borderlands 3. Lots of fuckery and lots of cool things we've been doing with it so far. Which, by the way, you guys missed it. I kicked David's ass in a duel. You missed it. It was glorious.
Only because you broke out Iron Bear. I'm holding to that argument until the day I die.
Hey. Don't go there. Okay, first of all, for those of you listening, I'm Moz. I'm the gunner. So, yes, I have a mech with me. A mech with twin miniguns on the shoulders. Okay? Now, my argument here is he's the Flak. He's the Beastmaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has a bot with what looks to be like a beam rifle. Okay, 2 people shooting at me, and I bring out my big guns, which is what I call the Iron Bear, or as I like to call my Iron Yogi. That's just what I call him.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically defended myself. I mean, I was short. Moz is a short 4'8" ish, 9-ish gunner soldier, and this guy, I shit you not, is like 6'10". Now, when we first played this, David didn't realize how short Moz was, and he saw me on the game. He looked down. He goes, "Holy shit, you're short."
Mm-hmm.
That's how short.
Very short.
We've been gunning it out. Anything that's crossplay, we've been gunning it out.
Yep.
We did Back for Blood. That kind of wore off pretty quickly. Uh, 4 minutes 3 has been our go-to because there's so much we can do, so many ways we can. Oh God, uh, so many guns, so many ways we can rank up. So it's been really good. I
Yeah.
mean, but Diablo 4 is one thing we're looking for mostly, and there's a lot of games coming out that are crossplay, which there's a few I don't know of quite yet, but you know, we'll let you guys know as soon as we know.
Mhm.
But Diablo 4 is going to be the stream of the year
Mhm.
for Zeonizer Podcast.
So we will actually be
Um,
streaming Diablo 4. Now, our webcams may
yes.
not be on, but the gameplay as well as the audio with myself and Jeremy will be on. So make sure that you guys follow us on YouTube uh, as well as on Facebook because we will be streaming and we will be sharing the link to where you guys can view us at. Okay? If we're not streaming
Are we
on.
going to
Go
are
ahead.
we going to do this live? Are we going to do this live, or is it going to be recorded?
No, it's going to be live. It's going to be a live stream.
Live. Okay.
It's going to be a
That's what
live stream with the gameplay and everything, so they're going to be able to see us actually level up and increase. So it'll be a full live gameplay walkthrough for Diablo 4.
I'm down.
So
I'm down.
make sure that you guys like and subscribe on the YouTube channel as well as on Facebook because we will be streaming on YouTube
Mhm.
because this is the end all be all of Diablo right now, and we have been waiting so long for this
I think
game.
since 2000. I think 2016. I think.
We've been waiting about 6 years for a new Diablo game. So the fact
Yeah.
that this is coming out is going to be legendary. Okay,
And
so
the fact is, you get to see your boys. And I know we talk a lot about Power Rangers.
mhm,
That's beside the point. But your boys are going to be necromancers with attitude, and that's what you're going to see come to stream.
yep. And when the game fully launches in June, depending on how big the community is by then, we'll even probably do a community night and have a couple of you guys join in on the fun and be able to play with us on Diablo 4. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure you guys do that
Yep.
because, man, we're going to be selecting at random or we'll figure out how we're going to do it. But yeah, so if you
Oh,
guys want to watch that
before,
gameplay, make sure you
yep.
guys follow us on YouTube.
And before we hightail it, because I mean, J3D is not with us because of course his phone died, so this would not be right if we continued without him.
Right?
But I will go ahead and I mean, last couple episodes we talked about role play,
Yep.
bread and butter in the Power Rangers universe. I mean, if y'all not paying attention, Hyperforce One, so many more. I just got the permission from this productions that makes their version of Power Rangers. Y'all go on Instagram, YouTube. It's called Unworthy Productions.
Mm-hmm.
We kept up with them. The Jetty, the Jetty tale they told, absolutely fantastic, a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go check them out. They got the production, they got the visuals, they even got the cast. And I actually believe by the way, they just finished the cycle arc. David, by the way,
Ooh, I might have to check that out.
we're actually going to see Christopher from space appear.
Nice.
So you guys go check out Unworthy Productions. Of course, tell them who sent you, the boys from the Zeonizer Podcast, and as well as tell them, hey, come check us out. We got a lot of good stuff. We talk a lot of Power Rangers and a lot of Marvel and DC some days, and a lot of video games.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe I hope to the Morphin Masters that they drop a line during the Diablo stream.
Yeah. Well, we will have to definitely wait and see. So, um, don't forget you
Oh yeah.
guys like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, like and subscribe on Facebook. If you guys follow it, you guys can also follow us on Spotify. We're on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
as well as you You can follow me on Twitch. You can follow me on TikTok and Facebook. All same username, PhenomenalMiklo, as my name is up on the screen right now. You can also follow my boy Jeremy. He is on TikTok as well as Facebook and Instagram. Go ahead and let them know what your tagline is.
TikTok, I go as RubeDevil666 because I'm evil that way. Instagram, I have my Instagram, Jeremy Groves, Groze. You can follow my main page, or if you want more info and more information about when we're going to podcast, what we're doing, everything that I learned from David and Jerry will be posted on our Instagram page, the Zeonizer Podcast on Instagram, as well as we're on Anchor. So it's an app that follows podcasters, amateur podcasters. We're on podcasts. We're on podcasts. We're on Anchor as well. Zeonizer Podcast. We're branching out everywhere. I just started my first Twitch account ever, so I'm saving that until we stream Diablo.
Yep.
I should have a webcam by then and all that set up. So if you go to my Twitch account and I have nothing there, don't call me a noob and don't be rude to me. I'm saving that for Diablo 4. So when that starts, I'll have everything up and running. So you guys, thank you for tuning in and hearing us rant about random shit. This was a random episode. This was no episode tagline at all. I mean, we just want to talk about random shit. And we'll do that every now and then.
Yep.
But until then, you guys stay blessed. You guys stay awesome. And remember, if you guys want to be Zeonized, you know where to find us.
Exactly. So, thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. Same Zeo time, same Zeo place.
Peace out.
Laters.